All right, we are live here at Sadaro's Pizza, 116 North Markley Street in downtown Greenville. This is Two Men in a Football. I am Chris Smith. This is Lee Mason, Brandon Brady Fitzpatrick, and to my left is the owner of this lovely establishment, John Todaro. So we're going to talk a little bit about the 4 playoff games that happened in the NFL today, some of the coaching news that's going around as well. And I want to thank our sponsors, besides John and Todaro's Pizza. I want to thank Chris Pryor of Service Realty, 864-380-0525, and Ryan and Pink at 864-735-7014. All right, fellas, let's talk Saturday, and then we'll talk tomorrow. I don't.
Yeah, we're all doing good.
Yeah, we're all doing it. Look, this is the first. Yesterday, yeah. So let's talk Saturday. We'll start with the Jaguars game. Not, in my opinion, not really a shocker there. Jacksonville. I know in this area, anyway. Apparently, there are now a lot of Jags fans. And so
we were at Hall of Fame.
And
there was a bunch of Jags jerseys.
All with the same Travis Etienne. Yeah. So
I don't think I saw an Etienne jersey.
I saw one.
Okay.
I saw one, but the other were Trevor Lawrence jerseys. It was pretty loud in there.
Yeah.
And then you got the 3 people in the entire bar yelling for KC, me being one of them. Just you know me. Stir it up. You know me.
The best there ever was.
Just hooping and hollering and yelling, people looking at me like I'm out of my mind. But look, let's be honest, and what scared me, obviously, and scared a lot of people, is when Mahomes went down. We now know it's a high ankle sprain. He started off like Patrick Mahomes always does. Jags defense couldn't really stop him. He had those sidearms, those jump passes. I mean, he was all over the place, and then he got hurt in the second quarter. And then Andy Reid told him to take a hike, go back to the locker room, which obviously infuriated Mahomes. You saw him take his jacket off and throw it down. God knows what words were coming out of his mouth.
We were waiting for Brittany Mahomes to send out a nice little tweet. Yeah. And Jackson, you're like,
yeah.
I think he
And then I was waiting for Brittany's tweets to start flying out. But anyway, let's go a little analysis of the game. We'll go down the line. We'll start with Brandon.
I'm surprised how well Jags actually played. You did have a gingerly Patrick Mahomes at the end, but again, hurt Patrick Mahomes still
50%. 50% Patrick Mahomes is probably better than
most quarterbacks.
85% of the quarterbacks.
I gotta give it to the Jags. I mean, you look back at all the Chiefs games. As much as I want to, Mahomes deserves the MVP conversation. They haven't blown out. So you kind of thought can the Jags actually get that? Can the Jags actually win? Trevor Lawrence didn't throw 4 interceptions. He actually was really good. But yeah, I mean, Patrick Mahomes kind of slides it and dices it again. Yeah, I don't think you were going to win the game with Chad Henne. You weren't.
But
you did good.
You did see that one series. He marched him straight down the field.
He did good.
That touchdown.
It's easy when you have Travis Kelce.
Oh, yeah.
But I will say that the Jags should have won that game.
And why do you think?
Because when Chad Henne came in and that ball got tipped up in the air and 2 Jags guys went to get the interception and they ran into each other, if they didn't pick the ball off, the game's tied and they have the ball down deep in Chiefs territory. They score a touchdown. They're the ones up 7. And that drive with Henne taking him down the field doesn't happen.
True. That's true. What do you think, John? What do you think of the game?
I think the game was only close because Mahomes got hurt.
We want people to hear you like that. You know your friends busting your chops.
That's right. I think the game was only close because Mahomes got hurt. Right. I think if Mahomes doesn't get hurt,
it's a blowout.
Right.
That's what I
And
think.
everyone
I think
expected a
a year or
blowout.
two from now, the Jaguars will be in good. Let's see what happens when Calvin Ridley puts on a uniform next year and Trevor Lawrence actually has a number one to throw the ball.
Why you don't think Christian?
I think Christian Kirk is a number two. He's a great two. He's a great two.
He's not one.
Okay.
So I think it'll be a great 1-2 punch. I'll have a great tight end with Evan Ingram, but I think it was.
They gotta sign him though. He's gonna want a bunch of money.
Is Kevin really on the Jag now?
Yeah, he got traded.
He got traded.
Falcons traded him
I did not know
during
that.
his suspension,
Yes.
and he had to sit out the year for gambling, which I think we could go down a rabbit hole about why the NFL suspended
When he
him for a
wasn't
whole
even
year.
playing.
When he,
Right.
yeah.
And now you're allowed to gamble now. On the NFL. It's completely legal. Obviously not players.
The players aren't.
Yeah, but
Right. And the games that he was betting on weren't his own
but
team.
there has been
But-
worse situations in NFL. Way worse
Way
situations.
worse situation.
And they got 4 games suspended. Yeah, violence.
Yeah, like
You got a
kill
special
someone,
guest.
Yes.
and you don't sit out for a whole year.
We do have a special guest running around tonight.
Everyone knows this guy. Everyone knows this
Carter,
guy.
wait, Carter,
Wait.
Carter.
This camera right here. This camera.
He's like, I'm not interested.
All right.
I'm going back down. All right, that's my son Carter. He's here running around because we don't have any power at the house. So
I'm gonna off the air today.
I'm still off.
So I got a question for you. Did you pay your bill?
Yes, that was the first question. My wife texted me when I was at work. My wife texted me, the power's out. And my first question to her was, did you pay the bill? And then I got a text message from Duke saying your power, there's been a power interruption. Your service should be on by 3:30. And then at 3:30, I got another one that said it should be on by 7:30.
Oh, wow.
So we'll see if it actually comes on at 7:30. But anyway, that's beside the point. Anyway, Christian Kirk, Calvin Ridley. Yeah, I mean, once Ridley comes back and Lawrence has somebody who's the number one to throw to, I think that's going to be a dynamic team. Like he said, Evan Ingram needs to be re-signed. He was a big target of Lawrence's, especially later on in the season. I mean, I think there was a game where Ingram had 11 or 12 catches for 180 yards, a touchdown.
Fantasy points.
Fantasy points scored. And I'm sitting there like, holy crap, look at this. You know, I had TJ Hawkinson, who also lit it up once he got traded. But yeah.
The only thing I have to say as far as the two of them is they're both small. I still feel like they need like that 6'4", yeah.
50-50 ball.
Yeah, because I don't think like Marvin Jones, he's decent, but he's kind of like he's past
like a
the-
T Higgins.
Yeah.
Something, yeah.
And they do not play the
big.
free agent market. They draft. They have so much draft picks. I mean, it's going to be a different year from now because we finally made it to the playoffs. You're used to the lowest seed or, you know, the Jaguars that have like no wins and they have all the draft picks. But they're going to have to play the free agent market. They're going to have to go out and get those JJs, Tiggs, and all that. You know, just one guy that you throw it up in the air. What?
Did you just say Diggs?
Yeah.
Because
That's
you
what I got.
don't think Diggs is going to be in Buffalo anymore?
Oh, yeah.
Like those guys.
Like those guys. Yeah. Obviously, Justin Jefferson.
They're saying that Hopkins wants out of Arizona.
They are saying that.
And that's a big target.
Wow.
So imagine
coming back to Trevor Lawrence.
I would
Granted,
love
he's near the end of his prime or at like it's
Yeah,
starting, but
well,
he's
remember,
still,
he played with Trevor. They played. So, I mean, the connection there.
No, he
was
didn't.
already gone.
No, he didn't. He played with
Diop was gone.
He played with
He was with
Deshaun.
Deshaun, sorry. You're right.
Okay.
Deshaun
Yeah.
Watson. Yeah, it's Deshaun.
I was like, whoa, wait a minute. No.
It's Deshaun.
Now Higgins.
Higgins
Yeah,
played with
Higgins.
Lawrence. Yeah, but Higgins ain't going anywhere. Yeah. I mean, that nucleus, we'll get into
Well,
that.
he just signed him.
Yeah. All right, what was the next game?
It was,
I
gonna
don't,
be
the
that-
game I want to forget.
Oh, yeah. the Giants and the Eagles.
That's another game we watched.
Oh, wait, did you pick the Giants?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm the only one that got all four. Nice.
No, I said Philly would win, but I would take the Giants.
Oh.
Here's what I don't get. Okay, the Eagles are the Eagles here. You have an offensive guru that you hired as a head coach. That's done
It's a
really
little
well.
weird bird,
That's
but
done really well. You can't score more than 7 points. You're an offensive head coach.
Yes.
You can't score more than 7
Because
points.
Daniel Jones is your quarterback.
I agree. I
And
100% agree. I think Daniel Jones is highly overrated.
yes. He
I
And
cannot.
Miami's overrated too.
He throws an 8-yard screen pass at somebody's feet all the time. Like, I can do that. Like, come on. So
We have done that.
I have done, but I've also thrown touchdown passes,
Yeah,
which he
right.
rarely knows how to do. But all
I
he
will
has
say
is
this.
Saquon.
I will say
And
this:
that's
he
a
was
problem.
smart about the ball this year because he didn't throw a lot of interceptions like he did last year. He only had 8 this year compared to I think he had 15 last year.
Well,
But when your best wide receiver is 3, maybe.
Right, but still,
Darius Slayton's a 3.
I agree.
So-
They traded Kadarius Toney,
Who never played.
but who did pretty well out in KC, as we saw.
Yeah, they need, even, I think even if they had a solid 1 and a 2, you're still not gonna beat them with Daniel Jones.
so let's kind of do that flying along. Like, do you think Brian Dable, who's had Josh Allen for a couple years, you honestly think, and he didn't draft Daniel Jones, do you think that Brian Dable wants to draft his guy? His own guy?
Sure.
I know it's a
Absolutely.
stupid question, but
No,
but that's
But the
like,
problem is
it wouldn't be a stupid question.
making the
yeah,
making the playoffs, you're not gonna get one of the top 3 guys.
right.
So is there
Unless you
that,
trade.
is
Trade
there that late round or second or third round guy that jumps out that they're gonna want? We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. How do you kind of see the Brock Purdy and stuff like that? Like, that's hard.
Well, Purdy was actually, he would have been drafted way higher if his senior year had not been what it was. But after like year 2, people were like, oh, this guy's gonna be a top. Exactly. So the talent's always been there, and then when you go to Shanahan, you just unlock it. So,
Yeah.
and he makes some plays too. I mean, he doesn't have like a cannon, but those things are on money.
Yeah,
He is.
it kind of reminds me of Chad Pennington.
But more armed
I mean-
more armed than Bennett.
I don't know. Yeah, Chad Pennington at one point.
Well, he
Was
Chad
dead on ball
Pennington
that
had
day.
the arm until he tore his.
Yeah.
Until he had Tommy John.
And then his arm was immobile. Like,
Yeah.
and that was obvious.
He had those. He would have the floater.
Green ball.
Yeah,
Green
yeah,
ball,
yeah.
yeah.
But that's who Brock Purdy and Chad Pennington is. When he first came out in college, he would throw dimes, dead on accurate. I think Brock Purdy is pretty close to kind of Chad Pennington type quarterback.
But narratively, like, I don't know if that's the word the narrative is very parallel to Tom Brady. Like, the guy gets hurt, he fills in, he's 199 or 299, whatever, and he's slicing and dicing. Like, if he does win the Super Bowl, like, it's going to be Tom Brady. So,
But
like,
I don't
it's,
I don't think he's getting past the Eagles.
But he
And
has
if
to
you
win.
watch-
If he doesn't, then
Right.
And if you
Yeah,
watch
yeah.
the last game, he wasn't that good. He wasn't that good.
last night?
But he was the best quarterback on the field.
But he wasn't. Yes, but he wasn't that good. If you look
He
at his
made
stats.
he made some good throws.
But if you look at
In Seattle, and when you're hitting a guy who's wide open in the flat, and he runs 80 yards after the play, Samuel McCaffrey.
But he's doing what he needs to do. That's the thing. So I'd much rather have him than Dak.
Well, then that's like, oh my God, yes,
wow.
yes.
Oh,
We're gonna get
Yeah,
there.
we'll get into that.
Because yesterday was just disappointing, like all around. But yeah, I mean, the throw to Kittle that Kittle caught it. That was overthrown,
Yeah,
but
but every quarterback, I mean, nobody hits them on the money all the time.
Correct.
I mean, every wide receiver has to make a play here and there, tight end, whatever. So he hasn't lost. Like until he loses,
I agree with you. He
yeah,
hasn't
it's
lost.
the countdown. I mean, what he's over delivered.
and if he
Regardless, and
loses,
especially at this.
I would agree.
and if he loses because of him,
I would
then
agree.
we
He's
can
over
revisit
delivered.
that.
He's over delivered, but it's going to be interesting to see against this coming Sunday's game, what happened with a ferocious Philly defense. I will get into that.
I think
We'll
you
get
can, I
into
think
that
you can
here
do
in a
it unless they hit him in the head with a battery.
So on
Ice ball.
let's go back.
They're known to do that.
Ice ball.
What do you? So let's play John Lynch, GM. Let's play his role in this because you draft Trey Lance.
Yep.
He's your guy. Like
They're gonna,
that's your guy.
they're gonna try to trade
Then
him.
you screw over Garoppolo and you're like, your contract is based off incentives, which he's over delivered on those. And then he gets hurt. What you do with Brock Purdy? Now he's your third string backup quarterback. You invested in draft capital with Trey Lance, and you have Jimmy Garoppolo pennies on the dollar.
So this is what's gonna happen. If Purdy wins next week, I don't think he has to win the Super Bowl, but if he gets there, Trey Lance is gonna end up in the Jets, the Panthers, the Texans.
You end up trading Trey Lance away.
they're
To me,
gonna.
that's the given. Like, Garoppolo
And
and
then,
Purdy are your guys.
then not only are you spending hardly nothing on quarterback position because you got Mr. Irrelevant. Sure. So
Still on my
Who's
contract.
making the
So,
league
yeah, on a
minimum?
contract.
I don't know what his
He has to
but I would
make it
assume
So-
it's
So
league
you
minimum.
throw
you
some
can-
money at
so
him,
yeah, he'll get
Yeah.
some type of bonus or whatever, but you're not sucked into paying $50 million a year like you are these other people. And then you can go out and you can add more to that team, which is
already
ridiculous.
low.
Yeah. I think they can be if they play like top notch. I think they can be.
Anyway,
Eagles.
we need anyway.
Yeah, I know. They were the only team I was afraid of beating up in the playoffs. Obviously, it being the Super Bowl, and being Buffalo or whatever. They are super scary. I mean, you can be scared with the Eagles because they're just all around good, and they've been consistent, the most consistent team all year long. But something about San Francisco this year, I don't know. I really feel like they can win it all.
Are we jumping to that game? Or
And might as well jump to the
Christian
Super
McCaffrey.
are you jumping to that game now?
I don't know. Are we? I mean, we can go.
Well, the Eagles just routed New York.
Yeah, okay, so I mean,
Like,
essentially, and here's the thing, when you look at Daniel Jones, the games that he had were good, were twice against the Vikings, whose defense is absolutely terrible, and then once against the Lions, whose defense is not very good either. So any other game, he never threw for more than 220 yards. In this league, with these rules, if you can't throw for 250 plus almost every game, you're not very good.
I would. Whoa. I don't know if I would go that far.
250 plus with that being PI, yes.
Okay. Well, let me school you a little bit.
Okay.
Joe Burrow threw for 240 yards yesterday.
Yeah, but I
No,
said
he
that's
didn't.
a playoff game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
What I'm saying is if you can't if you don't regularly
I
throw for
understand what you're
250
saying.
plus, if you're not torching the Texans and the Vikings, like, these teams consistently, there's a problem. So
He's sharing there.
They're really good. Like Pirates,
Yeah. Big up.
no,
No, seriously.
they're really
They're
good.
really good.
They're like melting them out.
They do.
so
I love them.
Off track.
All that. What I say before, but yeah, I mean, so let's get into Sunday's games. Let's start with the Dallas.
that was the night game. Aren't we starting with the early?
I don't want him to start crying.
Oh, okay.
We
I don't
can
want
go,
him to segue in. I don't want
talking about
we
the
can go head on
Brock
to
Purdy.
this. Let's start with the 3 o'clock game.
I don't want him to start
He's
crying.
ready. He's ready.
Well, what camera do I look
He
at?
knew he knew it was gonna happen.
Oh my God.
We talked.
So-
Listen, well, before you start, I'm going to say this. Me and him had talked about this game, and I said to him,
Who's
"This
that?
that you, me,
Me,
you.
okay.
I said to him, this is what's going to happen. There's no way. There's no way. I said, we are going to dominate this game. Joe Burrow is just going to absolutely slice and dice your defense. And exactly what I said happened. And not only that, it happened in the snow. I didn't even know it was going to snow.
A lot of people didn't know.
Yeah.
When I saw
like 3 hours before.
when I saw the flakes coming down, and no, we were together.
They were omelets.
They were
omelets.
huge.
Yeah.
They were huge, and I was like, "This isn't like."
Yeah.
Because I said to myself, "This is going to be a running game. It's not a pass game, and that gives the Bills more of an advantage, except for Joe Mixon. But
No,
they've
Mixon
got
and Mixon are better than.
Mixon had a great
But-
game.
Mixon had a great game.
Well, yeah.
We talked about that.
But at the same time, you got with Buffalo, you've got Big Diggs, you've got Gabriel, you've got Jared Cook who comes out of the backfield, you've got Singletary, Josh Cook, you've got
Josh Allen,
James
James
Cook.
Cook. Josh Allen,
James Cook. Yeah, that's where. But I mean, the question I had is, what was Sean McDermott and Ken Dorsey thinking?
So
Throwing bombs in the snow.
if you would notice it, when we got the touchdown, what was working? The West Coast kind of offense. Short. Who got the touchdown? Easily.
Right.
Because it was a little
That's what it
slap.
should have been.
Like,
And it should
and
have
then all
been
of a
Josh
sudden,
running.
he diverted from, and Josh didn't run either.
Josh didn't run the entire first half.
Josh had
Not one run.
so many, and I think that's why Diggs, I was just watching, Diggs was so upset because when Josh had an opportunity, like there was a gap that Josh could have done, that Josh Allen and ran for 20 yards, got the first down, but they had to punt it, and that's when Diggs was like, what the hell? What the hell? You're Josh freaking Allen. You could have got that first down. And to your question, what was Ken Dorsey thinking? I really don't know. I never blame the coaches on, like, you'll never hear me. Now, it happened.
They set the game
And
plan.
maybe I should blame the coaches a lot more, but in my past, I never was like, oh, bad play calling. Last night, it was hard to blame the players. It was all play calling. It was Ken Dorsey and Leslie Frazier, and obviously McDermott's the CEO, so he overshadows everyone. But it was the worst play calling I've ever seen with that opportunity. You're at home with that crowd. Now, the weather's not going to factor into Cincinnati, so rule that out. You have DeMar Hamlin there. Like, you need to
You
play.
got your defensive backs who have been out back, who were supposed to be Pro Bowl.
Well, Mike Hyde didn't play.
I thought Hyde played. No.
Yeah, he's allowed to practice when he play. So, but you still have a really good defense, secondary, and defensive backs, and then like the first drive, you have Jamar Chase for 20 yards and a
Just-
circumference right in the middle of the game.
I could have flopped to.
You're Leslie Frazier, and you're
Why?
saying, "Hey guys, with this trifecta of wide receivers, let's just play soft zone." I mean, I'm not a coach. I don't-
Jamar Chase would have called.
I like to think I know a little about football, but I know not to do that with Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and all of this.
Boy.
Cincinnati, like that was a stupid
Then
decision.
you got the guy with the long white hair. What's his name?
Yeah,
No.
he had 2 touchdowns.
The
yesterday.
skinny white guy.
The tight end.
No, that's
Irwin?
Hayden Hurst. Irwin. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But then you got
Cincinnati's
Hayden Hurst.
offensive line actually dominated.
They
All
they
backups.
did not get hurt at all.
Dominated the line. Dominated.
All backups except for the center.
The week
So
before,
gets to him. AJ Epinesa looked like he was irrelevant.
the
Like
week before, the Cincinnati game plan was spot on. The week before against the Ravens, Mixon has 8 carries, P. Ryan has 2. Yesterday, Mixon had 20 carries, over 100 yards, had the touchdown. And a lot of what Joe Burrow was doing, they were short rounds too. So they had the game plan you were
and you're in
looking
the
for the Bills to
snow,
do.
so do it. Like why in the snow with omelets snowing? You're throwing bombs like with short asses. West Coast
So the
offense.
Bills lose for 3 reasons.
All right.
There's only 3 reasons they lost.
Jefferson.
1, scheme.
Two, please.
2, Von Miller not being there.
Not being there, yeah.
They have a 0 pass
Huge.
rush. Have they had a sack? Like within, I mean, I don't know. 3, they're the Bills. Like, they're just, 4 Super Bowls, you never win, and then consistent. I'm just saying,
Different,
they're
is
like,
Josh Allen gonna be John Elway?
it just
Is that
seems
only
like
playoff
they're
ball?
destined. It seems like they're just destined
Thank
to
you,
not
Jeff.
be able to make it happen.
Jefferson, you might as well just poke your head in and say hi.
Welcome American Jefferson.
It just seems like they're not able to make it happen.
So
Yeah.
I will make this observation. And I heard one of these talking heads talk about it earlier. All the coaches, all the head coaches that are in the AFC and NFC championship game are all offensive coaches, not one defensive coach.
Yeah, McDermott was the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so is it that they're starting to become a trend?
Well, you know it is. You look at all the young coaches, McVay, Zach Taylor. They're all young, offensive, hybrid, like minds.
Right, something that's actually happening, and we'll see what comes of it, but the fact that it sounds smart, something that the Panthers are doing, but they are already interviewing and trying to lock up a top D coordinator. In addition, like, it's not, okay, we're gonna hire the head coach and then they're just gonna go pick somebody. They're trying to get, like, they're willing to pay the money to get it, like, where it's like, look, I'm not even, like, you handle that side of it. And then the head coach and then the offensive coordinator that the head coach gets, they'll deal with the offense.
I mean, that's
That's how it's always worked better. Like, if you look at this.
not really. I mean, but
No,
Dable got hired, and then he brought Wink Martindale over from Baltimore.
I mean, Belichick's won a lot of Super Bowls. Bill Parcells has won a lot of Super Bowls.
No, I'm saying to your point,
Yeah, but the
like,
game has
that
changed.
guy,
Yes.
whether it be
The
defense or-
RPO offense.
Yeah, sure.
Things have changed a lot since the Parcells. Look at, I mean, I hate to say it, but look at Belichick now.
Sure.
Again, the guy is on the tail end of his career, and
Well, he's 72.
well, right, correct.
Belichick still thinks he's a mad scientist. Sure. He's not. And like, he has his Joe Dirt
He also only has Mac
son
Jones.
doing the defense, and he doesn't know who's doing the offense. He has 2 guys, plus him.
Oh, two
So-
guys. Defensive
and he has a
Joe
defensive-
Joe Judge, Matt
Yeah.
Patricia.
He has a defensive guy doing the offense.
The rumor is Bill O'Brien's gonna come back.
Right. I
So
agree.
we'll see.
And one of my workers, Ashley, is a huge Pats fan. That's what he thinks as well. So,
But
and that would make a lot
screw
of sense.
them, they're never gonna win again.
Yes. Not my division.
I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't count Bill Belichick out. A lot of people counted him out during his career. I don't like the guy because of, his one-day contract with the Jets 25 years ago.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the Bills, the 2 Bills?
No.
About Bill Parcells and Bill. It's awesome. But I didn't realize that it was about the owner. The owner died, and he didn't know who bought the Jets.
Leon Hess, Woody Johnson.
Leon Hess died.
Right.
He wanted to work for Hess, and he didn't know Woody Johnson, so that's why he was like, I'm out. So anyway, going back, who would you fire? Whose head would roll on this loss? Would you fire Leslie Frazier, or would you fire Ken Dorsey?
Both of them.
That's aggressive.
Gone.
That's a big one. That's a big one.
Listen,
Yeah. I agree.
I agree.
Because Ken Dorsey might have another year. He's new. He needs like a little more grooming. And much as he pissed me off, I don't blame you for saying.
well, the other thing
Fire him,
too is
but-
I would maybe fire the offensive line. If you can't run the ball in the playoffs, you're gonna lose.
Yeah,
You're gonna lose.
I would definitely fire Leslie Frazier. First of all, you stopped best running backs all year. You stopped Derrick Henry. Like the going back to the Tennessee game, he had nothing.
But there was no threat at quarterback either, though.
But you relied on Derrick Henry to get at least a
Elite.
play. Oh.
Yeah, go play in the street, no problem.
That's what we used to do in Brooklyn.
Yeah, right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in Brooklyn, they would stop for you. Here,
Yeah,
they don't give
yeah.
it.
You have a good chance of them slowing down.
No, stop.
He's trying to find a stickball game out in the city.
Yeah, stickball. But yeah, where were we?
Who
Yeah.
are we firing?
Yeah, who
Firing
were we
Leslie
firing?
Frazier.
Leslie Frazier. He has run his course. He's definitely done a great job, but he's just hasn't gotten there. But he's had a great defense for what, 5, 6 years?
How much money does McDermott make?
I'd probably say 4 to 5 million.
Call San Francisco and offer D'Amico Ryans $5 million a year to be the coordinator.
He's gonna get a head coach.
He might, but if he doesn't, but if it comes down to making $5 million or whatever, being the D coordinator for the Bills or going to be the head coach of the Texans, I think I'm going to go be the D coordinator of the
Oh,
Bills.
hell yeah.
And stay in San Francisco at that point.
Well, but
Well,
if let's just say they're only going to pay him $2 million or $3, maybe
Fair enough.
yeah.
I think that Texans job is so toxic at this point. I mean, after, he did to Deshaun Watson,
Well, he also did a lot of that himself.
well, yes and no.
But he's
But at the same time, you hire Lovie Smith.
who has no winning record. Like, but you
I mean,
hire
you set him up to
he-
fail
He
anyway.
wins.
Yeah.
He wins the last game. Goes for it on board down and wins it, and then you fire him still.
Which job is worse, the Texans or the Reds?
I would actually say.
I would say the Texans.
I would actually say I'm going to throw another team in there, and it's going to be a wild card team. You're like the Broncos. You have no draft picks because you traded them all for Russell Wilson.
Yeah, but there's still a lot of talent on that team,
And the family that owns that has so
Yeah,
much.
so-
stake.
Well, the new owners,
Yeah.
but you still have no draft picks,
Now, to me,
and you don't know which Russell Wilson's going to show
to
up.
me, as long as Daniel Snyder owns the Redskins, that's the worst.
Really?
That's the
I-
worst situation.
The stadium's falling apart.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to sell that team.
Well, they already
Yeah.
started the process.
No,
It has started.
they asked Bank of America to.
Well, that's the beginning of the
But
process.
they already have, I think, 5 people that have offered, but the offer hasn't been the $7 million that he thought it was going to be.
Still.
Yeah.
Yeah, buying that team, you have to do a new stadium, which good luck.
They're
with
gonna-
that.
they're
It's
gonna-
not $7 billion. If now it's like 700
They're
billion.
they're gonna put it where RFK is now. They're gonna revitalize that area and put it there.
They should. I mean, that would be the smartest thing.
Yeah.
All right.
So so let's pick. Let's pick.
Night, no, we're at the night game now.
We're at the
Well,
night game.
We haven't,
still
we
haven't-
haven't,
we
we
kinda
didn't break,
covered
we didn't
that.
break that down. We didn't break that down.
I need to draft Birdie. Okay.
I need to channel my inner Stephen A.
Yeah.
What can go wrong? Will.
So as good as Dallas looked last week, because they did look good, and Dallas has surprised everyone.
Tampa's terrible.
But Dallas looked complete last week. Not complete to win the Super Bowl,
Tampa's terrible.
but they looked.
Tampa's terrible.
Tampa's terrible. I get
They're
it.
old, they're old and slow and injured. They're terrible.
But and I'm not. Trust me, I will never stick up for the Dallas Cowboys.
All right.
I would never.
It
So
was 1912. Slow down. If Dak Prescott isn't Dak Prescott, Tony Pollard doesn't get hurt, we don't know what happens in that game.
Agreed, but
That's
But-
I mean, to act
Dallas
as
Cowboys-
if Dallas got blown out of the building is
On their
insane.
jerseys, they should have Murphy's Law.
Oh, yes.
but
Just on their
but
helmets.
but the thing is, but they do have Dak Prescott. They did have Tony Romo. So,
Yeah.
and I think a lot of it has to do with not necessarily, maybe if you took the player and put him somewhere else, he doesn't throw 2 picks because he doesn't play for the Cowboys.
wow.
Yeah, but you think Dak Prescott is a good quarterback? Like,
Good? I think he's
I
good.
think he's
He's
good.
good.
He's
He's
definitely
good.
good.
He's not
He's
$150
athletic, but
million.
he's good.
If
But
he
he's good.
if he played for the Giants, they wouldn't have lost 38-7.
I'll take that. I will take that. That makes a lot of sense. Maybe
They
he
lose
should go to New York.
38-28.
But
Yeah,
the Cowboys
they
have to
lose,
love that.
but
But they
they
lose 38-28.
maybe 38-24, maybe so 21-24, something like that. But yeah, I mean, I think he's a good player, but I think there are certain things with certain organizations, and it just happens.
I was reminded last night when I was like the Scott Van Pelt Sports Center, and Jerry Jones obviously his microphones are just like hitting him in the freaking face, and it's like
I was kidding.
owner, GM, and
You
like
sure those are microphones?
well,
Right in the
We're gonna
eye.
get in trouble
Right.
again.
yeah.
The FCC.
I did not suggest anything. He did.
The next thing you know, Jerry Jones' attorneys will be.
Right. Yeah. You guys need to shut it down. We're gonna have a freaking cowboy star up here now.
Well, he's the Cowboys
I
fan.
know.
The other thing too, though, is Dallas had statistically a good offense throughout the year. But they played, but they played a lot of bad teams because of the division. I know that. Hold on. I know
Division.
I know.
3 of the 4
Yes.
teams are in the Final
Right,
Four. Let's
right,
not say
right,
that.
but if you look at the defenses in that division, other than the Eagles, they're not good. So
Giants were overrated.
yes, so he put up stats like they blew out the Vikings. Well, everybody put a lot of points on the Vikings. So
Correct.
I think a lot of the stats that they had were a bit inflated, and I don't think the weapons are truly as good as the other teams that are left. The weapons on that team are not what San Francisco has. They're not what the Eagles have. They're not what the Chiefs. I mean,
Well,
it's not-
here's the question. Is CD Lamb a true number one?
Yes, I do. I do think is he
he.
as good
I
as
think he has.
Justin Jefferson or something. But CeeDee Lamb is still young.
Is he as good as Amari Cooper?
Yes,
I think they missed him.
but is
Not
it,
at this
but
prime. Marty Cooper is probably better.
but he. I think Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb is still very young.
Sure. I think he could be, but I think he's a high 2, right? But
So he's a Christian Kirk.
no, he's better than Christian.
Yeah.
He's significantly better than Christian.
Okay.
I think Zeke, while he can have flashes past his prime, mainly
Yes.
goal line and, need 4th and half yard, that kind of thing. The Tony Pollard thing hurt. I think he's a good player. But Gallup, he's okay. He shows up here and there. Noah Brown, sometimes he makes a catch. Really, Dalton Schultz is the second best option. And I just think that when you compare what Dak has to use to everybody else, they just don't have enough firepower.
You saw more looks with Schultz in the end of the season because he was more dependable than anyone. Schultz
Once he got back
from
from
like
injury.
week. When was he in there? When he got back? Because you saw like an influx of him getting touchdowns. Not
Last 3
CeeDee Lamb.
weeks, 4 weeks for sure.
Right, yeah. And I feel like he was becoming Mr. Dependable over CeeDee Lamb, Gallup. I mean, Gallup is kind of like Gabe Davis, where you can throw in the ball and make a big play, but sometimes
Drop
drop
it,
it,
right,
yeah. And it's like, all right, like, cross your fingers. But
And would
to
you
me,
rather have the guy that makes the big play or the guy that consistently always gets catches?
always gets catches?
Exactly.
Yeah, always,
Yeah.
yeah. To me, it's the obvious thing, right? Like, the Cowboys will never be good ever again until Jerry Jones lets up a little bit. And again,
That's never gonna happen.
No, and it's not. But when were they good? When he didn't have, like, he let Jimmy Johnson have the control. And he won
Barry
2 Super Bowls.
Switzer,
yeah.
And Barry Switzer won a Super Bowl
With
because
all of Jimmy Johnson's
Yeah.
people, yeah.
So that was like, he wasn't the CEO, owner, and GM at the same time. What I was going to
Jimmy
mention earlier.
picked all those players.
Yeah,
He was
Jimmy.
in
That
control.
was Jimmy C. And Barry Switzer was lucky. And I saw on the TV last night, I'm like, man, he's still the GM. Like, Jerry Jones
But
is
has
still the
had
GM.
that title forever.
I know,
but
but, like,
he just
When is he gonna be like, listen, I will be the owner, I will like celebrate to win it, but I need to hire someone like Brandon Bean or John Lynch or
Never gonna happen.
Never. It'll never happen.
I know until he dies, and he will never realize that's when you were the Dallas Cowboys. That's when you were super successful. You won what, 3 out of 4.
Yeah.
So
And the other thing
Make
is,
that door a little heavier.
what are his,
yeah,
what are his kids gonna do? Is the kid gonna go, oh, our dad did it, so we're gonna do it?
Oh, we're gonna
Well,
watch this live.
I think Steven's smarter than that. I think Steven's smarter than that. I think Steven knows when kind of poke the bear, take control type of thing, when not to, when to kind of pull back.
when not to wipe his glasses for him.
Guys are terrible.
That was awful. That was so awkward. That was crazy. He goes,
All right, let's
look forward.
let's pick.
Let's talk a little coaching carousel.
Okay,
We got Sean McVay staying
he's staying, yep.
in
Which
LA.
I think is a good move. He's way too young to freaking walk right now.
Yeah, but you never know what kind of maybe TV contract that he was getting. He's being
TV
offered.
contract, and he probably wants to spend more time with that hot ass wife.
Yeah,
than he
he's
did
got
last
it.
year.
I don't think she was on. I saw the wedding photos. No, sorry.
Brandon Staley stays.
That's it.
Brandon Staley stays, but his offensive coordinator's out. His
That's a
QB
They needed,
his
so,
QB coach is out, and his O-line coach is out.
so you don't think he should have fallen on that sword? Then?
No. And his
Well,
players
I think
stuck
they
up
should
for
have
him.
made him.
They should have pushed him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Game
when
of
you
Thrones
get-
style.
When you get your nucleus of the team going to the GM and the ownership saying, we like this guy, it becomes very difficult for them to fire them.
Well,
Justin
you are
Herbert
on
went
thin
on
ice.
television right
Right.
after the game
They-
in the locker room.
Right, and said this
And
was not
supported
Staley's
it, said
fault.
it was not him.
Right.
That's tough to do.
But who else? I mean,
Byron
Is that-
Brian Leftwich got
Is out
fired.
in Tampa.
Sean Payton,
So
that's gonna be interesting.
He's gonna
Let's unpack
have
that,
his pick
because-
of whatever.
So Tampa Bay's coaching carousel in itself was weird as hell. Last year when Arians just got outed by Tom Brady, and like, do you think that was apparently Arians just walked away, and then wanted what's his name?
Todd Bowles.
Todd Bowles, who really hasn't done much. Like the Jets, he was horrible.
This guy's great coordinator.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
tons of them.
And
Yeah,
Tom
that's what I'm saying,
Brady,
another one. That's
Jason
another-
Garrett.
Another one of those.
Tom
Jason
Brady,
Garrett.
Tom Brady
Great coordinator.
to go.
Can't head coach worth a lick.
Tom Brady to go wanted Byron Leftwich to be his offensive coordinator. That says something, which I thought was weird. That Tom Brady of all people wanted Byron Leftwich. Like, what has Byron Leftwich ever done? Like, he was a big guy. He was, physical quarterback. But man, I just thought that was
Well,
weird.
but you don't have to be a good player to be a good coordinator.
Sure, but
Most of them
was-
aren't.
Was Byron Leftwich a good coordinator?
They did win a Super Bowl.
He wasn't the coordinator.
He was the offensive coordinator when they won the Super
He
Bowl.
was.
I
He
thought
was.
Todd Bowles was.
No, that he's the D
no,
coordinator.
he's the D
coordinator.
Bowles is D
Yeah.
coordinator.
Yeah.
Bowles is D.
One of the things that Brady did not like about Arians is Arians actually held him responsible.
Accountable.
Yeah,
Right.
he would get on him
Right.
about stuff. And
Bruce Arians never would have let him go on vacation.
2 weeks.
exactly.
Yeah. Well, that was a divorce thing. Like, you knew that was coming. Like, something was going on. That 2-week thing was weird. So, does Tom Brady retire?
No. He played.
Does Tom Brady?
I think he
stay
goes to
in
play
Tampa?
for another team.
You think so?
Yeah,
Where?
Does he try to go to the Dolphins?
I don't know.
Not with
Raider?
not with
Become a
Mike.
Raider.
That's the other go.
That's what I was thinking. That's
He
what I
wouldn't
was
go to
thinking.
Miami with Mike
And
McDaniel.
and do the Jets trade for another old Packers quarterback?
That's a good question. I'd rather Derek Carr.
No. You'd rather have Derek Carr than Aaron Rodgers?
Absolutely.
No.
What, you're
One
gonna have
year.
Aaron
You
Rodgers
get
for
1 year.
1
For
year?
2
1
years.
year.
For 2 years.
1 year.
No,
You get Aaron for one.
he's got 2 years left on that deal. Brady's 46. Aaron Rodgers is
But Aaron
39.
Rodgers has 1 year left. He
He's
has
got
to
2
play.
years left.
No, I
He
thought
just
one.
signed. No, this year was the first one. He's got 2 years, 110
3-year
million.
deal.
No, I thought it was this year and next year. That's 2 years.
2 years. He signed a
Yeah, I
three-year
thought it was
deal
3
last
years.
year. He has 2 years,
Yeah, for
110
50
mil left.
million a year. Or something.
Yeah.
So Aaron Rodgers out of the conversation. When he's gonna retire.
No, I think something's gonna happen. I hope he gets traded to the Jets. And with that, they have one of the best defenses in the NFL.
Yeah,
They do.
That was a surprising.
You got
Bryce
you
Hall.
got Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson.
If you can get Becton to play,
He's lost a lot of weight.
if you can get him to play and he stays healthy, and maybe you can get one more guy on that O-line, they could win a bunch of games.
I want to see Aaron Rodgers.
And you
I
know
like
what?
Aaron Rodgers. I want to see him on
His
another
team
team.
doesn't fix their issues and run the ball, the Jets will smoke them next year with Aaron Rodgers. Smoke them.
Wow.
You guys need to get,
Wow.
the Bills need to get their O-line
You
together,
heard it
and
here.
they need to pass.
You heard it here.
Wow.
The blasphemy, the just the shit that he's just saying.
I wanted the Bills to win the Super Bowl. I did, but they have major
Yeah.
issues.
They do.
Major.
We gotta get rid of Leslie Graham.
Yeah.
We're not gonna get back there, but we gotta.
I'll liven it up a little bit.
Yeah,
You gotta get
yeah.
some
Hot
stuff
take.
going.
Talking about Stephen A. Smith, like
God.
hot take. Stir the pot. There you go. But
Turn the pot.
Trust me. Let Derek Carr go to the Texans where his brother got destroyed.
yeah.
And his career ruined.
Where his career was
Yes,
ruined.
let him go there. He can wear number 8 like his brother did. He can
That'll
get,
never
get
happen.
destroyed. But yeah, no, you want Rodgers over Derek Carr.
So
Oh, yes.
You
Yeah.
said you.
Well, no, if we're talking multiple years.
2 years.
but no. This is what I don't get. You're gonna get Aaron Rodgers 2 years from now.
No, in a trade. In a trade.
That's a hefty trade. With an old Aaron Rodgers, you're still gonna have to give up a lot.
No, because here's the thing. You're not gonna have to give 3 1s because the relationship
not gonna be
already,
3-1.
the relationship already there is gonna be strained. So
Tell
you
me
know, when you know.
And the
when-
contract's so
when- yeah.
damn big.
When you know that somebody wants out, the contract's that big, so you're asking a team to take on the contract with a disgruntled player who's gonna say, all right, trade me or maybe I don't play. Well, why don't you get something? So who cares if the Jets give up their 1 for Aaron Rodgers? Like, do it tomorrow or whenever the league year starts again. But you know what I mean? Like, you can't compete. You're not going to win a Super Bowl or go to the deep in the playoffs with Mike White or Zach Wilson.
No, you have Miami's good, Buffalo's good, Jets are decent. Well, their defense is awesome. Like,
But Tua's a big question mark with Miami.
right.
So do they call
so
San
apparently,
Fran for Trey Lance? You might see Trey Lance in Miami. Who
Oh
knows?
my
I'll
God.
take Trey Lance. Yeah, Trey Lance can go to Miami. That's fine with me.
Fine with me.
I
too.
don't think.
Fine with me.
I gotta be honest, I
do
don't
not
think Trey
he's
Lance
good.
is
Yeah,
that good.
I don't think he's
Well,
good
we
either.
don't
I
know.
don't think-
That might be the
Oh, where
Listen, you know who I would take in a
where does
heartbeat?
Garoppolo go?
You know,
Where does
that's.
Garoppolo go?
I was just gonna say
Miami.
that's who I would take in a heartbeat.
I would take Garoppolo.
take Jimmy G in a heartbeat.
Over all of them?
Yes,
I
absolutely.
could see Garoppolo going to Miami though.
So you would take Jimmy G over 2 years of A-Rod.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would too.
Is it
At
just
this point in his
is
career,
it just because A-Rod's a douche?
No, A-Rod.
Is it 'cause he's a douche?
No, A-Rod.
No, I'm serious.
Aaron's old
Yeah,
shit.
no, Aaron Rodgers is a douchebag, but he can play.
I love Aaron.
So-
I love
He
him.
struggled this
I
year.
would take.
Yeah,
I would
so,
take.
He
yeah.
didn't have a single 300-yard game this year.
No.
You were talking earlier about players, if they can't throw for 250, that they should be in the league. He didn't have one
He had
300-yard
no.
pass.
He had no.
I would take. I would take Garoppolo.
He had no receivers.
Garoppolo has another.
What? Adam
6
Lazard?
years.
He's a two.
No.
I mean, you got Lazard. Christian Watson certainly came on at the end.
Chris Watson became his guy.
Lazard on the Bengals was not even
You
making.
had Randall Cobb who was hanging
Who's
out.
80?
You had the Clemson guy.
Amari Rodgers.
Yeah, who they cut.
They cut.
They cut him. Amari
Yeah.
Rodgers.
They cut him.
No. Sammy Watkins.
Yeah, but
Oh, yeah. Sammy Watkins.
Didn't
They cut him.
He went to the Ravens.
He went to the
right?
Ravens again. His second still in the Ravens.
Oh yeah, you know Sammy Watkins.
I know
well.
Sammy. He fumbled shit all over the place.
I still say if the Jets can get Here, they would-
Listen,
they would win.
1 year with Aaron
All right.
Rodgers could be awesome.
2 years. 2 years.
All right, let's make picks.
All right. So we
only got a
have
few minutes left.
championship weekend. All right. So we have
First, the
the
3
first
o'clock
game
game
is
is
in
the
the
Philly
AFC.
game.
Oh,
Nope,
yes,
it's the
right,
NFC
right,
game.
right.
Philly 49ers in Philly. They're probably greasing the poles right now just in case. I mean, it's the truth. They literally go to every single street pole and light pole and grease them up so that, they don't climb the poles and cause damage like they did when they won the Super Bowl in 2017.
Burning your own.
None of it like burning your own city down. Good Lord.
The smell of napalm.
All right, so I am, what, did we see the spread?
Did we say 2.5? Is that what we saw this morning?
I think we saw 2.5 this morning.
This morning?
I'm
By
taking,
2.5?
I'm taking Philly. I'm down with Philly.
Yeah, I would go Philly. I think Jalen Hurts is the man. I do.
You cannot go against Philly.
And I don't think.
So,
I think Brock Purdy's going to get overwhelmed in this environment. And I think
Who I want to
I think the
win.
Philly defense is gonna just wreak havoc.
is it to the wire?
Good Lord. All right.
Is it to the wire? What does everybody think?
Nah.
No?
Nah. I don't
So
think
it's in
to the wire.
hand.
I think so. I think by halfway through the third quarter, the game's over.
I'd like to do an upset with it. I really would. I mean, I really think San Fran has the capabilities of winning this game.
So everybody's on the Eagles
Yes.
except me.
Oh,
that's fine. Roddy Gold, baby, wins it at the end.
All right.
I'll take the upset too.
Oh,
Yes.
all right. Flipping it
There is
around.
no way. about it.
Does my brain think Philly's gonna go do it? Yes, but I would love the upset. I really would.
Well, sure, because the story would
The
be great.
story would be.
I'm
Brock
going with my
Purdy,
heart.
which is
I'm
probably
going with my
the-
heart. Other than my
Again,
brain.
Tom Brady's type-esque.
Sure. And I mean, and if there's not a better football name, Brock Purdy is.
I mean, that's Varsity Blues. Yeah.
Right? That's exactly what it is. So maybe that's what you think. It would be a great story. I don't think they beat them. I think Jalen Hurts is going to be unbelievable. I think a Super Bowl with Joe Burrow on one side and Jalen Hurts on the
That
other.
would be awesome.
You know, you're talking about the future of the
So,
quarterback.
it sounds like you're thinking Cincinnati.
Yeah, I jumped to that.
I'm taking Cincy. I'm sticking with my boys.
Well, it'd be
Or my
To
boy.
me, it's an easy pick because you don't a high ankle sprain with Patrick Mahomes. Like,
But I don't think without that, Cincinnati would
No,
win
no,
this
no,
game.
no, no.
Are you kidding
well,
me?
no.
We have
was
beat
saying-
them 3
Three
times.
times,
2 in,
yeah.
So
in
what?
KC.
So what?
In KC.
So what? Cincy wins because Mahomes is hurt.
Nope.
If they were locked and loaded, the Chiefs win that
Nope. We beat Cincinnati's beat them
game.
twice
Fine.
already.
Great.
Well, and so
In KC.
to me,
That's like, okay, so
We beat them in the
Clemson, when
AFC
Clemson
championship.
finally
Yeah,
beat Alabama, they had no chance, and there's no way they would have ever won.
I just
No,
think-
I feel
I just
like
think-
I feel like it's the opposite. I feel like they beat them 3 times. There's a chance
Exactly,
Kansas City's due.
exactly.
But I
And
do
you
think
still
Cincinnati-
have the MVP in the league on that team.
so I'll say this: Buffalo has beaten KC twice in the regular season, and they beat us twice in the playoffs. So that really doesn't matter
Yeah.
at that point.
Yeah.
Playing in KC is hard. It's very hard. So I think with a healthy Mahomes, I will always go Mahomes. Much I don't like because I love Burrow. I love Buffalo and Cincy are kind of a brotherhood now. I want to go with Cincy all the time. With a healthy Mahomes wins. But that's not the case.
It's not the case.
That's not the case. He will play, but he was wincing. He was hurt. Mahomes was finally hurt, and you can see it. And that
He'll be 70%.
And no, I don't even think it'll be 70, but
I'm
excited to see.
I'm giving him an injection and then wrapping him up good 70%.
I'm excited to see a rematch of the 1989 season Super Bowl.
49ers
And
Bengals.
foreshadow a little bit. Purdy hits Ayuk on a little slant, the John Taylor slant. At the end.
Okay.
Yep.
Listen, first of all, Joe Mixon's no Icky Woods. He's better. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I could just go down the line. But Joe Burrow is 100 times better than Boomer Esiason was at that point in his career.
Yeah.
I mean, Jamar Chase is 100 times better than
Chris
Chris Collinsworth. I mean, let's be honest here.
Chris Collinsworth is one of the worst people on earth. So
Well, whoa.
NBC,
Oh, my
don't
God.
sponsor us. I hate him.
Actually, I think Tony Dungy's worse, but he says.
I don't know. I think Herm Edwards.
Dungy,
Yeah,
Dungy,
that's just good.
Dungy had some pretty rough stuff to say about some people. He
yeah.
really, about some marginalized groups. Yeah, he kind of, yeah. Anyway.
Well, if we really want to talk,
What?
go down that rabbit hole, let's talk about Skip Bayless.
Oh, he's that guy's
for
a
the
kid.
love. He
Well,
chased
he's-
poor what's her name off the show. Who was with them last year? Who is gone now?
Yeah, Skip Bayless is a douchebag.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
I'm surprised
Well,
they're
we're
still
killing
on
our
the show.
sponsors, Fox, NBC.
I don't care. It's all over.
Speaking of sponsors, we got a couple minutes left. I do want to thank John Todaro,
Thanks,
Todaro's Pizza, 116 North
Amazing
North Lake
pizza.
Street, downtown Greenville. We got Hoppin' and Urban Wren right here. Also want to thank Plumbing and Pink, Rusty and Lynn Greer, 864-735-7014. Also want to thank Chris Pryor of Service Realty, 864-380-0525. I'm glad you could finally hear us after that group of lovely kids left.
Basketball.
Because I couldn't think for a little bit.
Customers of John over there,
Customers of
so
John.
you gotta treat them right.
You do have to treat them right, but now I can actually think about what I'm gonna say. But no, it's a great place to come, especially for groups. And
the
if you go to
pizza.
Hoppin next
Pizza.
door,
I deliver over to you.
deliver to, I guess we, yeah, sure. We deliver over there. And you might see this ugly mug a couple days a week here.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But this has been 2 Men in Football. I'm Chris Smith, Lee Mason to my right. To my double right is Brandon Brady Fitzpatrick, and to my left, John Todaro. We'll see you next Monday, same time, 6:30 to 7:30,
Picking Super Bowl.
where we will be talking about the AFC NFC Championship. Obviously, any NFL news that has occurred during that time, and then we will be talking about the Super Bowl. That's going to be the Bengals versus
The 49ers.
the Eagles. The Bengals versus the Eagles. Anyways, thank you all for watching. Have a great night.
Where am I going?
Little red button.
Oh, I am.
Carter, you're the man.